guys, happy Monday. I had a busy weekend. Um, it was Axel's birthday on Sunday. So Saturday was just kind of spent preparing, getting things ready for it and all of that. I really wish I would have like taken more pictures and videos and stuff of like the actual birthday stuff, but honestly, it was so minimal. I was just gonna do cupcakes, but he requested cake and cupcakes, so I had to end up doing both. um, and it was kind of, I don't know. I can say overall the birthday party was great. There was just like leading up to it. I mean, you could tell that Mercury's in retrograde and we just had a lunar eclipse and full moon because it was just like, oh my gosh. We were running behind, of course, and then the place where we were gonna go get like pick up our pizzas, they were closed. So like last minute, we're like, well, like literally just have to go. We don't have time to like order from anywhere else. So that was like, ugh. And then we get there and we were like not late, but like we were maybe like 10 minutes early where we could have had like 15 minutes, but like pretty much all of our guests were already there too. So it was like, oh my gosh, now we have to decorate while the guests are here. And I don't know, it was kind of like all hands on deck at that point, but it was still a really good birthday. Axel was a blur the entire day. He just was running and playing, and he's in kindergarten, so this is the first year where he's had like friends from school and stuff. And it's actually going to be for Roman too, because this is our first actual birthday party at a place since 2019. We were just, of course, with 2020, we didn't do any like actual like out, birthday parties. We just had the birthday parties at home with just us. And then I feel like 21, we just like wanted to still be cautious about it, about getting that many people together. But I think what we ended up doing that year was just like I always decorate and everything for them here with their cake and stuff. But we kind of just did that as like a family, and then we took the boys out to like dinner and then to like go do something fun. And then we did that last year too, and 22, and both boys like wanted to go like bowling for their birthdays and like go to the movies, and so we just had like a fun day out with them for their birthday, and then just did cake and presents and stuff here. It's just like a family of four, and we really enjoyed it, and the boys enjoyed it. But this was a year that they requested a birthday party, so we're like, okay, we'll do this. We'll send the invites out to school and stuff, and quite a few friends showed up, so that was nice. And of course they had their cousins and other family members there as well, so it was a lot of fun for them. And it was a little chaotic for me. I felt like I wasn't able to like visit with everybody that much because it was just like literally making rounds, and we didn't realize that there was going to be 3 other birthday parties at the same place, so it was just busy. It was like at a local skating rink. So anyways, it ended up being a really good party. There was just like a lot of stuff like leading up to it. I did make the cake from scratch, and we literally were like running out of cake because there was just, didn't anticipate, I guess, that many people, but I should have because my family is very big. But yeah, it was a pretty good weekend, and just nice to see everybody because we really don't get to see a lot of our family that often. But this week, I am back at it. I have a lot of editing to do today. I might film later, but I went outside and checked on the garden this morning, and I call it every single year. For some reason, I cannot keep cucumber plants alive. I don't know what my deal is, but I cannot keep these plants alive. And it looks like, I'm not for sure, maybe they'll come back up, but like, it looks like I've killed all 4 plants that I had. Or maybe it was just 3. I don't know. But I'm so frustrated. But I'm like, maybe I need to like go and look and see if I can find any more starters somewhere. And And then I think also the culprit might be there's a big hole in my garden and like the next bed over, and like the squirrels will jump from our roof down into my bed. So I'm like, I don't know if there's a way that I can, like, I don't know, put like a net or like some type of like wire, like chicken wire or something like that, like over it to like block that. I'm sure it's like birds and stuff like digging in the dirt for like worms, but I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no worms in this. They're raised beds. I don't know. I'm having such a hard time though, and I'm like, I just can't. Like, this is my year. Like, I want to have really great plants. I am getting tomatoes though, so that's exciting, and it was just really nice. We woke up to 70-degree weather, and so I picked up Starbucks after I dropped the kids off at school and came back here, and I was able to, like, go out in the garden for a little bit with my latte. And that is one of my favorite things for spring and summer, is going outside in the mornings. It's kind of like, especially when my brain is like running an insane amount, it's so nice. If I can't like sit down and actually like meditate, it's so nice to just like go outside and feel peaceful in the garden with my latte in the morning. It's one of my favorites. But now back to reality of coming in and getting some laptop stuff done, because I really need to edit some more and get this vlog uploaded. And I'm already thinking that this week there's going to be so many vlogs this week that I need to post, and you guys might get tired of me. Riley was also outside with me, and oh my gosh, this is why, like, I wanted to try to leash train her anyways, and she drug me into a ditch because she's seen a cat. And like, I still want to do like that with her, and I want to like take her to like the dog park and like different things like that. But I'm like, then I also like want to take her to like a class, like a training class, but like she's so rambunctious that I'm like, I don't know if I can even handle that. Like, oh my gosh, this dog. And I don't know what her deal is. Like, she's like the calmest thing inside, but then you get her outside, and we have like, she has a pen in the back, but we also have like just a leash so that she can like be around me, like when I'm gardening and stuff. So I put the leash on her, and like, she's completely fine. She'll lay on our back porch. She'll lay by my garden beds and stuff. I walk out there and she just goes berserk. And then she'll calm down, and then literally a while ago, I just started petting her and like jumps on me, scratches me. Oh my gosh. And it hurts so bad. I'm like, oh, this dog. Which I need to trim her nails, and that was a good reminder of that. But besides that, I'm hoping that this will be a very bookish vlog, because my last one was not. I am still reading Midnight Sun and Twilight. But that'll be coming in a video of its own, so I probably won't talk too much about those this week in this vlog. But I am currently reading The Protege. I think her name is Judy, but I cannot for the life of me remember the last name of this author. It is a new to me author. This was a book pick for the Midnight Society book club from last month. So I actually almost completed all of my book clubs from last month. I think it was her book club and my true crime one I'm behind on. But besides that, I think I completed all of them besides the Midnight Society and Book Troop, which I was kind of bummed about because I had both of them. The Protege I only have on audiobook, so I have been listening to it. I think I have a few hours left of it, but it's been actually pretty interesting so far. I feel like it could go either way with like the synopsis. It's about like this, there's two point of views. There's Hannah, who is, sorry, I had to take a sidebar. Her name is actually Jody. I don't really want to pronounce her last name because I might butcher that, so I'm going to have to see how that's pronounced. But Hannah, like the main character, is an anthropologist, I think is what it is. But she's like a professor at a university. It's also like in like forensics and stuff like that. So she like has like a morgue like setting or whatever, and with students. And then the other point of view is one of her students whose name is, I don't know if her name is actually Winters Winter or Winters, or if that's like her last name and that's just what she goes by. I have a really hard time keeping up with names whenever it's an audiobook and I'm not physically reading it. So I can usually really keep up with characters and remember like the plot and like what character is doing what. But like for some reason I can never remember names when it's an audiobook. But Hannah, it's very vague right now, but like Hannah is, you know, teaching her students and she's really proud of her proteges, and one of them is Winters. And I can't think if it's Winter or Winters. I'm just gonna say Winter for now. But yeah, she's really proud of them and stuff, and we're kind of like navigating, or like, you know, seeing her navigate her life. She has a really hard case right now with a John Doe, and she's trying to figure out like who it is. So she's working like with the police, but also trying to teach her students at the same time, and everything keeps going wrong. Meanwhile, she's also, well, she's also like, there's like a little bit of a love triangle. She has a roommate who lives with her, who likes her, but she doesn't really like him that way. But then she kind of likes this man who is like married, who's like a coworker. It's kind of weird. Her love life is strange. But then meanwhile, jump over to Winter, who is her like protege, and we don't really know what happened yet from this like point of view, but we know that something happened to somebody close to Winter, and she is holding a grudge against Hannah because of it and wants to ruin her life. So she's like sabotaging her and sabotaging her career and everything behind her back. And I feel like with a synopsis like that, it could go either way. It could either be like really cheesy, unrealistic, but I feel like the approach that this author has taken on it is really good. I'm like, I was sitting there making Axel's cake this weekend. I'm listening. I'm like, oh my God, you know. And it's been a very like intriguing, thriller wise, and like I can't stop listening. I keep wanting to listen to it, and I obviously have to keep taking breaks because of, you know, different things going on. But I'm hoping to finish it today or tomorrow. I try to save my audiobooks for when I'm like in the car or like waiting in like parent pickup or drop off. So I don't know though if I can actually get around and get some stuff cleaned up, because I have to go through all the birthday stuff from this weekend. I literally brought it in from the car a while ago, and there's so much stuff. So I do have some cleaning and laundry to get going, so maybe then I'll listen for a little bit too. But yeah, it's been really good. I do want to start some more books this week, like physical reads besides Midnight Sun and Twilight, so that I can start, you know, rolling out some reads. I need to get, what is it called? Like something in the woods. I don't know. It was Gabby's pick for the book troop, and I got it in my book of the month, but I still haven't read that one. So that's going to be a physical read. So I need to get that and read that soon. So I'll probably do that this week. And then I really want to get a head start on like my book clubs for May and start reading some of them, because we're already a weekend. So yeah, stay tuned. There's going to be more books this week for sure.
Me? Yes. Hi.
Is that Boxy?
Yes, sir.
All right, you guys, I just did my second look with the Moonfall palette. I went with blue today. I'm loving how it turned out though, but I wanted to pop in. I just got done filming this. Today I am filming my May TBR. Fingers crossed I will have time to edit this and post it without deleting it, because that's what I've done the last like 2 months with my TBRs. It's going to be a little late this month, but I hope you guys check it out and see what I'm currently reading or what my plans are for this month, and hopefully they're coming into play. But you guys are going to see that a little bit more this week too, because like I said, I want to be reading this week a lot, and I already have been. I wanted to pop in before I film my TBR, which isn't going to be in this vlog. It's going to be a video by itself, because I know I'm probably going to ramble. But I wanted to check in because I am like 50% of the way into the protege, and I only have this on audio, so I've just been listening to it, but I did like some dishes and stuff earlier and listened to it. I've just been listening to it off and on throughout today, and I am really liking it still. I feel like stuff is happening, but at the same time, is stuff happening? I don't know. I'm going to film my TBR and maybe check back in with you guys tonight. I'm not sure. You guys may just see me in the morning. I may just come back with my thoughts tomorrow. I'm hoping to listen to a little bit more tonight because, like I said, I'm only like 50% of the way in. I'm like, surely this next 50% things are really going to be picking up, but we'll see. It is my first book by Jodi. I can't think of what her last name is. So I'm like, maybe it's just like her style. It's very like, I mean, and again, there's like stuff going on, but it's just like something will happen and then it like turns back into like slow burn, and then like something will happen and then it'll turn back into like slow burn. It's almost reminding me of Lucy Foley. So I just don't know how to feel about it, but I'll let you guys know. Good morning, you guys. It is Tuesday. I'm so tired today for some reason. I actually slept pretty good last night, but I'm so tired. I have like leftover mascara from yesterday. I just got back home from taking the boys to school. That was pretty eventful. Roman, like I said, has map testing this week, so he's just been like a little wound up because of that. And then Axel has a yo-yo show coming to school today, so he was pretty excited for that. But today I have quite a bit of editing to do. I don't know if I'm going to film because I don't really know if I feel like it today. I think it's because I have a lot of editing to do. Like, I have to edit today, but I really think it's because I want to read. So I am not as far as I would have liked to be on the protege. I am about 75% in, with like the last 2 chapters I listened to this morning taking the boys to school. Well, I listened to like on the way home, and I have my speed up a little bit so that I could, listen to some chapters because I haven't been consistent with it. So unless I'm in the car, which it hasn't really been a whole lot lately. The trip to take the boys to school is not very long, so I don't really get a lot of like my audiobooks done. So yeah, I still am liking it. Maybe I'll try to listen to it later, like when I do like the dishes and some laundry or something. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get through the protege today. I don't know if it's gonna happen though. Maybe tomorrow morning even. But I am still liking it. I really like the sabotage type of vibe. It's kind of reminding me, I don't know if you guys have seen Dead to Me on Netflix. It's the one where the I don't really give too much away, but like this woman and like her husband or fiance, something or other, they like hit a man who's jogging and kill him, and then they like fled the scene and like cover it all up and stuff. Well, then the woman feels like super, super guilty. And so she goes and meets the like, widow of the deceased guy. And it's with, you guys are falling on me. It's with that Linda Cardellini, I think, and Christina Applegate. It's on Netflix. It's one of my favorite shows. I love that show. But anyways, she goes and like starts kind of like, she doesn't mean to, but she's just kind of wanting to check on the family and see if they're doing okay. But then she ends up forming like a friendship with the widow, and it definitely is dark humor, but it's so funny. But it's giving me, that book is giving me that vibe, but like more serious, more I don't know, like in the show, the girl is like, I think her name is Judy. Judy like feels really bad about what her and her husband did, and like she's trying to like make it up to this family and stuff, and like She's actually like a good person who just did a terrible thing. Um, where in the book it's like it that and this is not the same story. They're very similar to me for some reason. Like that's what I just kept thinking about, and I think that's why I'm liking it. But in the book it's like Winter is like buddying up to Hannah, kind of like those two characters in that show kind of form like that friendship. But it's in the book, this is like all one sided. Like Hannah doesn't suspect Winter at all because it's like they're becoming like good buddies and it's her, prized protege and stuff. And where Winter really does like have it out for her. So it's a little bit different, but it's still kind of like those same vibes. So I'm really liking it. The only thing that I've been kind of like, about is that I have some romance books that I'm really wanting to get to. And so I think next week I'm going to be reading romance. So I was like, I have so many thrillers right now that I really want to read thrillers this week. And this book is like taking a turn. There's like more romance in it than I was expecting. And I was like, wait, what? So now it's just kind of like, I mean, it's not like, I don't know, it's not like my favorite ever just because I was so invested in the thriller part of the story. And now I feel like this like little romance vibe that's coming in and maybe something's going to happen with it. Who knows? I don't know. I just wasn't really expecting it. And I'm just like, it has been kind of heavy. I'm like, what? Like, I want to see more sabotage. um, but if anything, it's making me want to pick up the romance books that I have. I have like the new Emily Henry one. I have another one too that I'm just like, I have that Part of Your World. And then I forgot what the second one, the sequel to that is called, but I have that one too. So it's like, I need to have like a full like romance week too. But this book is making me want to just like stop the thrillers and, pick up the romance. But I kind of hope it kind of turns around and goes back to just like the sabotages and like the more thriller aspect. We'll see. But I wanted to check in with you guys too. I really have to edit. But last night I was so tired. I was like, I'm gonna get ready for bed and stuff. I was like, I'm kind of wanting to start like a physical read that's not Twilight or Midnight Sun. So I forgot that I had this one from the library still, The Chalkman by CJ Tudor. You guys know I was obsessed with The Drift, and it was my first CJ Tudor read, but I get there's, some complaints about like the storyline and whatever, and that it's not for everybody, but more than anything with that book, the writing style, I was like, I just from reading that one book, I was like, this is an author I love. Like, this is going to be probably a top tier favorite author for me. So I went ahead and requested this from my library to try it out. And I started it last night and I posted it in my stories because I literally was on page 2. Page 2 says, they numbered, photographed, examined, and eventually took the girl's body to the morgue where it lay for several weeks, as if waiting completion, and never came. There were extensive searches, questions, and appeals, but despite the best efforts of all the detectives and all the townsmen, her head was never found, and the girl in the woods would never be put together again. And I was like, I'm hooked. I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to go to bed tonight. And it's not because it's spooky. It's because now I'm like sucked in. I have to know what happens. I have to keep reading. I did end up going to bed at an okay time, you guys. I only read that much, so not too much. My eyes were kind of getting heavy, and I was like, okay, you have to go to bed because I want to actually remember this read and be coherent for it. So after that, I did read a couple of like chapters. There's not really chapters. It's kind of just bouncing back from time. So we start 2016 where we kind of get like a gist of like something going on and being like, okay, well, it all started when this happened. And then it takes us back to 1986. And it's kind of like, it's one of those books that I absolutely love. Like, think like It, or even like The Lost Boys, where it's just like that group of boys and not really coming of age, but at the same time, it's almost that vibe because you're kind of like on an adventures with them, and also like the Goonies. It's kind of like that feel where it's just like a group of like kids. I love stories like that so much. But it's like these group of kids. I think there's like four boys. They all have like different nicknames. Like one of their last names is, I think, is it Hopkins? Maybe I can't remember for sure. But like they call him like Hoppo and then Metal Mickey because he has braces. Eddie Munster is like the main character kid that we're following. His name is Eddie Adams. So since it's the like Adams family, they started calling him Munster. Just like I don't know. I like the fact that they all have like nicknames and stuff though. I think it's kind of cute, but they're like going to the fair and this tragic accident has happened and we're also learning about this teacher who just moved to town who's super thin and tall. He's kind of described like the slim man. And it's kind of making me wonder since it's called the Chalk Man and he is apparently albino. So, yeah, I was pretty invested. I read that and then it took us back to 2016 where Eddie is now a grown adult. He is a teacher and he is meeting up with his friends from back in the day. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I feel like she is going to be an author for me. I feel like Stephen King vibes whenever I read her work, and I really like that. So yeah, I think this is going to be a favorite author for me. But I'm going to pause so that I can go get some editing done and hopefully get some more reading done today. I think that's the vibe. I think it's going to be a cozy day. This is what our living room is turning into.
I was supposed to stand up.
You guys want to tell the vlog about your squishies that you're making?
Yeah, we're making some.
Hopefully they all turn out. We made 4.
Yep.
And one of the creatures is like a fox or a cat, and its name is Axel. Isn't that cool, Ax?
Yes. Okay.
We'll have to keep you guys posted on how they turn out.
Oh, just step on the phone.
Well. The car in front of us.
Oh, you knew it. Okay, that's 1 minute.
I spy with my little eye something purple.
Oh, you shot it.
Yeah, good job.
Okay, Mommy, mine was 5 minutes, so was first 1 minute, so you won.
You did so good.
No, you did because you did 1 minute. Okay, I spy with my winner eyes something gray.
That building.
Okay, that was 3 minutes.
So it is now in the afternoon. It's actually even after dinner and everything. I just got back home from the library and I had to drop off the Chalk Man because it was due today. But I did finish it and I don't know, I'm so torn on it. I feel like I'm still like in the simmering stages, I guess. Um, I had about 50% of it left yesterday and I read the majority throughout the day and then finished it last night. It was kind of just a down and out day, you guys. It was a little all over the place, but I would read a little bit on it, and then when I would get up and like do some things, I would listen to the audiobook for What Lies in the Woods. And so yeah, I made some progress on this yesterday and I finished the Chalkman. I think I would give it 4. I felt like the Chalkman, I really liked the way that it was written, but I do think the more the book proceeded, there's certain elements that I feel like I can kind of get past when reading like a Stephen King book or a book that you know is going to have more elements in it that's going to kind of make you feel like a little, you know? Um, and there was a couple in this book that just kind of like just upset my stomach. It just wasn't really, I don't know. There's triggers in this for sure, so make sure you look them up if you need to. Um, and I don't know, I just felt it was a little uncomfy for me. But then as the story progressed, I almost kind of wish it was less thriller and more of a horror with like the direction I thought it was going versus the direction it did go. So that was like a little um let I guess like a little bit of a letdown, but I do think it was a pretty decent book. I think that again I stand by like what I've said before that I really liked the characters. I liked I mean, to an extent, like I like the dynamic of it. I like the group of friends and kind of visiting the past and the present, and just like the small town drama and everybody kind of like intertwined. So it's like, who did this, and trying to figure out this one crime that's kind of spiraling into a bunch of crimes, and it kind of ends up being more of like a way of showing the repercussions you have of your sins and how sometimes it's not just one person at fault, it is like a whole community, and I don't know, I found it really, really interesting, but I don't think I would give it a 5. I think I would give it a 4. But I then moved on to What Lies in the Woods. This is my book of the month. And, well, for maybe last month? Maybe it was an add-on. I don't know. It actually says January 2023, so it might have been an add-on. Anyways, I am at around 100 pages, so I haven't read it too much on it, but yeah, I haven't really been able to read a whole lot today. I've been getting some editing and stuff done, and then reading a little bit here and there when I can, but this afternoon I needed to make a run to the library to drop off like the Chalkman and stuff, and then I picked up a bunch of books, you guys. I had so many books to pick up. So, yeah, I went and did that before they closed. We ate dinner. I'm back home and it's nice and quiet because James took the boys to the middle school where he works. They're doing kind of like an event there tonight, and I feel like things like that is just so easy for me to be like, okay, you know, you guys have fun. And then I stay home and read. No, I'm trying to get out more and get outside my comfort zone. I just kind of feel like when it comes to like certain things or certain places, I just rather kind of just skip. And you know what? It's good to kind of have that extra alone time to just like read or downtime, especially when you're kind of having like a little bit of a rough patch. And after yesterday, like today I just more than anything like feel emotionally exhausted because yesterday was just a very trying day. So, I am going to relax for a little bit while they are gone and work some more on my book. If I do finish this, I don't know if I'm going to finish this tonight or not. If not, I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow. I really wanted to read The Only Survivors, I believe, because I have that through Book of the Month as well. But I don't know if I'm going to get to it in this vlog or not. I will check back in. Maybe I will be able to make some progress on it. Guys, future Allie, because I realized I either deleted the footage or the week got away from me. Please don't mind my appearance right now. I have been cleaning and working on a lot of projects, so this is what I'm working with. But I'm gonna get ready so that I can look a little bit more put together, and I have other videos I want to film and stuff too, so it works out. But I wanted to finish out this vlog by talking to you guys a little bit more about the books I read this week, because I did finish 3 of them well, I finished The Protege, and then after that I read Chalkman, and I jumped right into it, and I didn't even give you guys like my thoughts on The Protege even. I just like jumped right into the Chalkman. So yeah. I thought I would talk about him, and then I also finished What Lies in the Woods, but I did not get to the new Megan Miranda. I think it's like The Only Survivors or something like that. I did not get to it this week. I really wanted to because it was a newer thriller release, but there is some summer thrillers that are coming out soon that I'm really excited to read, so I'm just gonna try to put it into like maybe a future one of those. I also made some progress on my Twilight and Midnight Sun books for that video, but I still have like probably like 25% of both of them to still read. So The Protege, I'm gonna be pretty short and quick with these, because especially The Protege and the Chalkman, because I feel like I've talked about them a lot in this vlog already, and I've given you guys kind of like a somewhat synopsis, hopefully, with all my rambling. But so The Protege I ended up giving 3 stars. It almost, I think if you like the writing retreat vibe, for some reason, I think that you would like this writing style as well. It still kind of reminded me of, I think I compared it to like Dead to Me, the show, as far as like relationships or the story like blooming, but kind of the difference is that the antagonist is actually an antagonist, and she's not like Sweet Judy from Dead to Me. Like, this girl is out to get the other one and is doing all of these things like behind her back. I would have liked more sabotage. I really would have liked more sabotage. I felt like it was adult enough to not feel like a YA or like a young type of sabotage like teen show. It wasn't like that. I feel like the author did really good making this adult and like making it like an actual sabotage, like going against her career and like, you know, then trying to frame her, you know, different things like that where like it feels more like, oh, this could happen like in the real world, you know? And I feel like there was a lot of moments where I really was like, oh my gosh, you know? But as the story progressed, we are introduced to like this like romance going on between the main character and a man in the book. And it's just like, a man in the book. I don't know if I necessarily had to have that, you know? I felt like it would have been fine to have a little bit of that chemistry and romance going on, but I feel like possibly those scenes took away from like a scene that could have been like another death or like another sabotage or, you know, just something more than what we got. And there's actually also a romance between the antagonist and someone else too. And I kind of felt like that one didn't bother me as much because it was kind of like she was working around people to kind of get her way and like help, like almost like seducing people and using people just to kind of like hurt Hannah, the main girl, even more. So like she at that point, she did not care what she had to go through. She was going to sabotage this woman. And I liked that. Hannah's romance was just kind of weird for me. Like I said, I think it took away from like the story where the story could have gone even like darker, had more sabotage. And also like the actual like spicy scenes were just very cringy. Like they were just, I don't know, just different. Like I guess just some of like the things she would say was just kind of like weird. I did like the very, very briefly mentioned moments where we would actually like learn something intriguing about her job or, you know, different things like that. But I don't know. I just kind of wish there was a lot more to these characters. And I overall feel like the twist and where the plot went and everything else, the like final act, all of that just kind of is what got me to a 3. I just feel like them all combined, I was just towards the end. It was kind of a fun ride, but towards the end, I'm just kind of like, okay, like I'm good. Like I'm ready to just wrap this up. Like, I don't know. Then my last one was finally What Lies in the Woods. This is by, is it Alice Kate Marshall? Or Kate Alice Marshall. I don't know. It's something like that. I gave this one 4 stars as well. It was, there's a lot of mixed feelings, I think, on this one, because I can't lie, while reading it, I just kept getting like this weird like sense of deja vu. And I was like, I swear, like this is a newer book. I have not read it. I swear I haven't read a book that's similar to this one. So I couldn't really figure out what was going on. And then later started seeing people talk about how it was like, without spoiling anything, a lot like an actual true crime case that happened. And then I was like, oh, that's why. And it's very, very similar. I don't want to like point fingers or be like, she did this or whatever, because I know a lot of people are already doing that. A lot of people are mad about this. I will say if you go to look into it and see which case it is, it will spoil a good portion of the book and some of the reveals and twists for you. But you may want to if you think that it might be something that you're kind of like, ugh, about to, like some people, because I know some people are pretty upset about it. And I can understand. I do think that it's kind of, I don't know personally, but what I've heard is that she hasn't like put anything out there to be like, yes, this was inspired by this or anything like that. And again, I think that would kind of ruin a lot of the book, but at the same time, it's kind of weird to like use that storyline if that is where she got it and then not credit it or, you know, mention them because there was, you know, a victim of that. And it's just, I don't know. I feel like that's a really touchy thing, but The book as a whole, I actually really enjoyed reading. I thought the writing style was really nice. It was enjoyable to read. The character was, I hate to say annoying, but she was annoying. Pretty much these four friends, or no, three friends are playing in the woods, and there's like this twist of like Greek mythology where they pretend to be different Greek mythology characters, and they're little girls just in the woods playing, and then one day they are attacked, and although three went into the woods, only two made it back out. The third one did survive with multiple wounds, and the man who did this is locked away. Like they singled him out, pointed him out, locked him away, and although she has a lot of scars, she has been able to move on with her life. Now, present day, she's going back to her hometown, seeing these two friends, and some more shit goes down and becomes a reason for her to stay even longer. And they're kind of like brought together because the man they put away for this had just died in prison. So it was kind of like they were kind of brought together because of that, and like bonding over that again. But now she's starting to question like everything, like if that was the right person, or what really happened, or her memory's a little bit foggy. She's also getting like threatening messages from like his family, in particular his son. And so yeah, it's just kind of like all unraveling, and that's the mystery of it, is her trying to figure out like what was real, what maybe they fibbed about a little bit. Was it actually the man they like, you know, put away for this? And all of the people, there is quite a few people in this book mentioned, so I definitely enjoyed reading this, taking notes, or I would suggest a reading journal, or maybe even just annotating like as you go, because there's a lot of characters and a lot to digest with it. Overall, again, I do kind of feel like it's a little copycat of that certain case, but I feel like she did add in some elements of it to make it its own. I've never read a book like it, so I did like that, although I do feel like some of the reveals were, I mean, kind of ones that I feel like a lot of people are going to pick up on. I was actually surprised with myself that on some of them I didn't pick up on them until they actually happened, and I was like, oh my god, you know? Which I read this and listened to it kind of like back and forth. So a lot of the time when I didn't pick up on reveals, it was when I was listening to it. So I think maybe if I was physically reading it, I would have been like, oh my god, yeah. You know? So I can say some of them can be pretty predictable. Some of them are a little bit more common in the thriller genre. Not as super unique, but besides that, I still thought overall writing style, and I liked the whole Greek mythology like twist, and with the little girls and stuff, and everything that, you know, came into play with that, and Persephone, if you have read this book. All of that I thought was like really chilling and like really great for a thriller book, and that's why I really enjoyed it, and I ended up giving it a 4. Sorry you guys, my house is so loud right now. But what I was saying was I did kind of, you know, afterwards realize why I was getting like that deja vu when I started like looking at spoiler reviews after I read it. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why. I don't think it really changes like the rating for me though, just because I did really enjoy reading it and like the writing style. And I just kind of felt like, I mean, there was like uncomfy and like, you know, more chilling elements to it, but it really was kind of like just a cozy like mystery where you could just grab your snack, your blanket, and just snuggle in and read. And I love that when it comes to thrillers. I don't always have to have like that suspense and like on the edge of my seat. Like I enjoy like the cozy thrillers as well. So I think that's why I ended up liking it as much as I did. But I am going to finish my face. I mean, I look somewhat more put together. It was at least fun doing a little bit of makeup with you guys. I am gonna leave you guys here. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know if you've read any of these thriller books that I mentioned in this vlog, or what you're currently reading. What have you been enjoying? I would love to know. And yeah, stay tuned for some more vlogs, book content, and beauty content that I have been working on. And yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me. I will see you guys in my next video.